Hey, Michael, Debbie, Luke, what's up, guys? Hello. How is it going? Here come the notifications that we are live. Hey, guys. Hey, Steve. So, I was just watching some good stuff. Um, Watching Jimmy Dore, man. Jimmy Dore's put up some great stuff today, man. You love it when your phone dings so many times? And you know it's your favorite podcaster. Who is y'all's favorite podcasters? I want your top threes in order. Who are your top three favorite podcasters? Hey, Dave. Set your account to say hi, so hope you're well. Young Z Harvey. Cool. Zach. Hey, what's up, buddy? Doc. Nay, Ron, and Graham. Nay's Garden, Jimmy Dore. There we go. Justin Smith. That's what I want to see. I want to see. I don't know who Carpo is, but I like seeing Jimmy Dore in that list. I like seeing Jimmy Dore in that list, man. I got like six this time. It's you, Matt from The Thinking, and I like the Future Cannabis Project. Okay, I have no idea who that is. Matt from Amazing Atheist. I don't know Matt from The Thinking Atheist. Um, hey Fargo, Yola, what's up? Fargo, Young Z Harvey. Definitely me. I'm your favorite. Karen McDonald. Good afternoon. Well, it's 4 o'clock, top of the hour. Let's go ahead and smoke. I'll smoke to that. Look at Doc. Look at Doc. He says Jimmy, Aaron, and Thunderfoot, and he doesn't even fucking mention me. You know what, Doc? Fuck you. Fuck you, Doc. God, you don't even put me in your top three, man. Holy fucking shit. Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. I'm not even gonna look at what you're gonna type. I'm not even gonna look at what you're gonna type. Whatever, dude. How dare you not put me in that list? How dare you? It should be me, Jimmy Dore, and Thunderfoot. It should be in that order. Actually, if you want my top three, it's Jimmy Dore, Thunderfoot, and man, I'm gonna have to go with, and this is probably, you guys are probably gonna be like, whoa, but Kyle Kalinske, Secular Talk. He's educated me more on politics than just about any other single human being on the planet. And he's a political science major. He knows his shit. It's something that I talk about from time to time, and I appreciate the knowledge that he gives me. Plus, he's fucking funny. JT123L says, "What am I watching?" I don't know, bro. I have no idea what you're watching. I can't see where your eyes are, so I don't know what you're watching. Doc, you're my main guy. Oh, but you've conveniently left me off the list. I love it. Luke Day says, "I'm number one because I talked to him." I said you the first time. Hey, man, you don't get a second fucking run at this, bro. You only get one chance at it, man, and you fucked it up. Both times. Nay's Garden, Jimmy Dore, and Steph. Steph has a podcasting show? Jimmy Dore and Steph go together. So, Megza, you've got room for one more. I need to smoke. Not because I need to physically, but because I got to keep up with the schedule on the show and keep you guys happy. So, without further ado, do you like the way I said that? No law regarding cannabis. Cannabis isn't his for all. Cheers, everybody, and Cyberstyle. Smiles. Everyone smiles. Rogan's good, but he doesn't give enough pushback. You know, I don't like people just sit there and let people run all over him. Lee Camp is great. This stream be kind of crazy though, says JT. What are you like a little JT? Are you like a little kid? Are you like 12 years old, dude? Maybe you shouldn't be watching. You know, maybe you should tell your mom that you're on her laptop. You know, I hate when fucking kids come in here, and I really wish YouTube and all the other, you know, social media platforms like Twitch, you know, got the little children off their goddamn services. And I wish their fucking parents were doing their jobs too. Smiles. Everyone smiles. Yeah, of course. Mr. Rourke from fucking Fantasy Island, Timothy Sater. Where have you been, bro? Come on. I do that all the time. Hey, Beth, the plane. Young Zale Harvey says, tell your mom you're on her laptop. Tell them how it is now, Young Z. Tell your mom you're on her laptop and you're watching adults. Curse. Go tell your mom. I don't listen to many. You try and watch you 3 times daily. I struggle with time difference sometimes with your morning show as it's early AM for me here, Megsy. You don't watch anybody else. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. You know, the reason I asked is because I was just watching Kyle Okalinski and Jimmy Dore before the show. And I was thinking about y'all. I was wondering who y'all were watching. 7:10. My bad. 7:10. I gotta smoke again. Yeah, I'm running a little behind. I gotta satisfy Bad Bad Blue Jays. And I was wondering who y'all were watching while I was sitting there watching Jimmy Dore. You know, Jimmy Dore just uploaded. I'm like, man, I was thinking all of you guys were gonna be there. You know, because you guys are hopefully following Jimmy Dore. None of you guys were there, man, watching them. None of you left a comment, at least. There was no comments on it, so I left some comments. I was like the 14th thumbs up or the 7th thumbs up or something like that. Which I've never been that quick to a Jimmy Dore upload before in my life. I took the opportunity to put a post up there. Maybe it'll get some likes. You know, but it certainly would be nice if you guys checked out Jimmy Dore, man. I mean, he's just so he's so entertaining on different levels, and he's entertaining on an educational level. He's entertaining on a comedian level. He's entertaining if you like getting high type of level. You know, he calls himself a pot smoking comedian that works out of his garage. Yeah, he just did Glenn Greenwald, not Greenfield. It's Glenn Greenwald, Steve. Yes. Youngzy, do you dab, Nate? Do you even dab, bro? Do you even dab? Bro, I started this shit on the internet, man. I started dabbing, right? I'm one of the first people to dab on YouTube, bro. I started that shit. You know? One of the first people to massively dab on YouTube. It was me. I started that shit. Trendy As Dabbers. Maybe you heard of Trendy As Dabbers. That was me, bro. That was me in my young days. Now I've matured into Nay's Garden. Ron Placone is good. Yeah, he is good. You better go check him out. You better go check out his podcast, or you're going to be missing out on great entertainment, man. He's fantastic. Everyone heading to Sacramento area to see my son. What's there to do with this COVID going on? Outside stuff, preferably. How do you How do you do, fellow kids? Says JT123. All right. Having 710, no law regarding cannabis. Cannabis is for all. Cheers, every cyber. Check out these smoke rings, though. JT123L, no problem, buddy. I figured you weren't a kid. That's how I was just perpetrating. I'm watching myself in fast motion clean up the outside. And Rogan's watching me too. Watch this. Look at this. This was me earlier today, guys. This is what I do. You know, I work. Look, Rogan got caught up on the fire pit. I said, you get caught up, Rogan? Rogan, did you get caught up, buddy? There, I got you uncaught. I got you uncaught. I'm a goddamn monster. Look how clean that whole area is. You want to see how disgusting it was just before? Here, watch this. Look at that. Look at how messy that was. And then Big Daddy came over and fucking took care of business. With his blower. Big Daddy and his fucking battery-powered blower. What? What? Psst. Where am I at? I don't know. Psh. Unreal, pal. You even blow on that thing, pal? What'd you go back too far? What'd you do? What did you do, pal? You went back too far. Here, I'll be there in a second, I'm sure. Dude, I may have almost just not. Hey, did I do quarter of the hour? Cannabisism, tisms for all? No, quarter of the hour. Cannabisism, tisms for all. No law regarding cannabis. Cheers, Cyberstar. That was the smallest hit I took. And it hit me the hardest, got me the most high, started me sweating and everything. Tiny little bong rip. Holy shit, man. What bud was that? Jack Hare. Jack Hare. Jack Hare. What? What? I present to you Drippy Giuliani. Only the finest drip on this side of the face. Drippy for the finest in men's drippings down the side of his face. Drippy Giuliani, a higher standard of drippiness. The most drippiness of all drippies, it is Drippy Giuliani for the drippiness of all drippies. Press number 1 if that made you laugh. Press number 2 if you left my live stream because you suck dick. I guess I have heard you say smiles, everyone, but since I'll be 55 next week. Yeah, but you remember Fantasy Island and Mr. Rock and Hey, Bath, the plane. Hey, Bath, the plane. Hey, man, I got a question. How come fucking Tattoo never got a fantasy? He fucking worked there, dude. He should have got a goddamn discount. You would have thought that, like, every 8th episode or so, fucking Tattoo would have been on vacation and you would have just spotted him somewhere with, like, a whole bunch of hot women just chilling on the beach, fucking margaritaing and shit, just fucking chilling, right? Girl sitting there fanning him and shit, right? What the fuck? What kind of fucking fantasy island was that, man? Tattoo couldn't get a fucking fantasy? What? He couldn't get a fucking vacation? We never spied him chilling? With that fucking employee discount? What, son? That shit ain't even funny. That shit ain't even funny. That's real shit. Poor Tattoo. You ever even think about it? You know, without that fantasy cash, Tattoo ain't getting nothing, bro. I'm sorry. You know, there's a problem of physicality there. You know, he's gonna have to have some help there. He's gonna need some help. Employee discount, Fantasy Island employee discount. You know, what is it? 35% off the rate, whatever it is. I'm sure they paid him really good. Psst. He should have been like every 6th episode. We should have seen him like out in the distance, fucking macking. Chuckles, my Gursky, my grandma, my key. It's supposed to be a harmonized note. It is 420. It is 420. Happy 420, everybody. Happy 420, Rudy Giuliani. Happy 420, everybody. Look at Mr. Drippy Giuliani. Happy 420, everybody. Cyberstyle, no law regarding cannabis. Cannabis isn't for all cheers. Happy 420, everybody. Drippy has 2 P's. Drippy definitely has 2 P's, bro. Out there trying to start a fire in my front yard. Fucking failure. It's okay. I cleaned the shit out of the yard today, man. The deck where the waterfall is, it's so fucking nice. You could eat off of the fucking deck out there. It's so fucking nice. You know? I just want to go out there and chill, man, because it's so clean. I was out there with the dip net. I got all the fucking pine needles and fir tree needles off the top of the water. You know, I worked on the flow of the hi Edith. I worked on the flow of the water circulator. It's a bubbler. It makes a lot of noise in there. It makes the waterfall sound louder. It's pretty cool. It's just a pump that shoots water up out of the water and circulates the water around, but it's a really powerful pump. You have to put a thing over the intake or it kills fish. And I have killed fish. I've murdered a bunch of fish. It sucked. Till I finally figured out, you know, how to cover that thing. I made a grating. I took one of these, right? And I took a knife and I stabbed a bunch of holes in it. And I put this over the hole. And no more problem, man. Fucking fix the issue. I came up with that. I was like, man, I was so glad. What is that on Giuliani? Hair color? Yes. Brett White, that is hair color. that is that is some spray on last minute desperation hair color. And let me tell you something, man. Um, when you are 70 years old, there's no need for you to be putting color in your hair. I have a problem with 50-year-old Jimmy Dore putting hair color in his hair. I really do. If you go back a year and you look at Jimmy Dore, if you've been watching him and you go back a year and you watch Jimmy Dore, you're gonna be like, oh, whoa, that's so fake. You're gonna be like, that's so fake. Then you're gonna come today and you're gonna look at him, you're gonna be like, whoa, Jimmy, right on, brother. Now that's fucking real, bro. That's you. And you know what? I mean, okay, I might be a little bit biased, but Jimmy Dore's gray hair looks fucking fantastic on him. And I bet you that Steph Zamorano agrees. And she's the only one that fucking matters. Jimmy and Steph. Brett's like, I'm 48 and gray. What? Psst, unreal, pal. Psst, nobody's 48 and gray anymore, pal. Nobody's even doing it like that anymore. What are you talking about? Shh, unreal. He will never recover from this. Replying, nice catching and drippy as a... What? What? Rudy Giuliani will never recover from this? Bro, yes he will. He already has. This is no big deal. Do you have less respect for him because he tried to color his hair? Hey man, I put makeup on my fucking acne. Do you have less respect for me now? It's so you don't have to sit there and look at it, man. Now listen, I'm sorry, I take offense to the fact that he thinks that gray hair is difficult for people to look at. It doesn't make you look smarter. In fact, if you're a lawyer, I would think that the grayer your hair is, the older you look, the more experience it would make you appear to have. I would think you would go with the white and the gray look if you were a lawyer. And you wanted people to take you on your... You know, I kind of like having the beard and the long hair because I want people to realize that I've been sitting here for a long time doing this. You know? It's like this guy didn't just come in off of a 9-to-5 job and start podcasting last week. Oh, he's pretty good at it. Yeah, it's disgusting. And it's like, ha ha, and it's funny. But I haven't lost any respect for him over this. Personally, me, I haven't. And, it's just, it's, you know, it's, you know, when somebody has reached the point in their career that someone like me can't lose any more respect for you, I mean, it says something about the guy. I literally, I can't lose any more respect for Rudy Giuliani. He literally just goes out in public and lies for Donald Trump. You know, in 3 weeks, this is what's so crazy. After it's official, you know, when all of the votes are certified, and Joe Biden is officially President-elect Joe Biden. It'll be interesting to see them still towing the line. And I'm not even going to ask you if you think these guys are going to keep towing the line and Donald Trump's going to keep saying that this election was rigged. We're going to have to hear this for the next 4 years, guys. And these people are not going to go away. And you know what? All the Trump supporters that believe him, they're also that watch this show, they're sitting there watching me right now, and they're nodding their head and they're going, "Oh, Nay finally got it. Nay, you finally got it. You're right. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna continue to support Donald Trump. He's gonna run for re-election, and we're gonna be here to make sure that he becomes president again." It's just gonna be an ongoing. It's never gonna stop. These guys can't sink any lower. They've already proven that they can go as low as they can go, and people still love and support them. And something like this is nothing. This is nothing. It's a glitch. It's a hiccup. You know, what's Jeffrey Toobin up to last couple weeks? Okay, Google. Is Jeffrey Toobin currently employed? Waiting for my little data here to load here. He's the chief legal analyst of CNN. This article starts off with the word masturbating. He was fired from the New Yorker. Is his career over? What's his net worth? Fired by the New Yorker. Fired by New Yorker. I think he's still got a CNN position. So, you know, Jeffrey Toobin's whacking off in Zoom chats, getting caught. And Giuliani's got a little drip. Bottom of the hour. Bottom, Jack Harris. Bottom of the hour. So, psst, psst, psst. Nobody even masturbates anymore, pal. Psh, unreal. What are you doing? What are you doing there, pal? Nobody's even doing that. What are you doing there, pal? Psh, don't do that. Psh, nobody's even doing that anymore, pal. Psh, unreal. Psh, what are you doing, pal? You still got a splash of confetti and you're not drinking it, pal? Psh, unreal. For the base of compost tea? Probably not. It's probably pretty toxic. Hair dye. Hair color, I don't know what the fuck they put in it, bro. It's you know, it's not made to run down the side of your fucking face. It's made to sit up on your hair, so there's no telling. And plus, that was like some instant shit, right? That was like some instant fucking hair dye that some fucking stupid cunt of a fucking makeup artist sprayed on. I don't think Rudy Giuliani has fucking black goddamn quick spray for his fucking hair. Do you guys? I mean, I don't know. Don't you remember when that fucking idiot went out on Steve Miller went out on you can find this on YouTube. Steve Miller went out on Fox News or CNN or something, and he had sprayed a Steven Seagal widow's peak with, so it was brown here and then the color was different there. It was like whatever other color his hair really is. Hey Craig. Cheers, bottom of the hour. Sorry I'm waiting so long. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Brett. I mean, his name starts out with the word rude. You know? Rudy. He's rude. So that happened. Old Drippy. My doggy. You guys catch the end of the last show, man? What'd y'all think about that? What'd you guys think about the end of the last show? What did you guys think of the end of this morning's show? What did you think was going on? Looked like Rogan did something, says David C. Is there a way of sending in private message about something? Young Z Harvey. If you can't talk to me about it on this live show, I don't want to talk about it. Judge just dismissed PA lawsuit, can't remember. So, that pretty much sums it up, right, Youngzy? In my defense, I was cooking breakfast for the hotel. Steven running. Forgot already. Can't remember. A judge just dismissed PA lawsuit. Can't remember. What's going on with Georgia, man? H.A. Goodman's talking about that. Georgia and Donald Trump. Donald Trump wins big in Georgia. You guys, maybe we should watch it. Because Steve Running just said judge just dismissed Pennsylvania lawsuit. That's huge. So let's see what H.A. Goodman is saying about Georgia. It'll be interesting. Oh, I just realized I'm logged into the wrong fucking channel. I'm so lazy. I should sign up from this channel too. H.A. Goodman. There he is. Subscribe. Click the bell and then click all. Okay, here it is. Trump wins Georgia dispute over rejection rate. Let's see what H.A. Goodman says.
Ladies and gentlemen, inadvertently, factcheck.org has bolstered President Trump's argument on the fact that rejection rates are lower throughout the country, especially in Georgia. We'll get to that in a second, but this is an extremely important segment. Share it with everybody you know. Hit subscribe to this segment. Click all notifications. Definitely go to my website, hagoodman.com, and subscribe to the newsletter. If you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is on hagoodman.com. Okay. We'll start with just the news. An article in key swing states this year, mail-in ballot rejections plummeted from 2016 rates. This is an article by Daniel Payne. Rates are below historical average and significantly less than most recent presidential elections. Okay, than the most recent presidential election. In swing states, miraculously, despite the fact that Americans had the United States had twice as many ballots mailed in than in 2016, we have rejection rates lower in swing states generally.
What's a rejection?
For mail-in ballots. That makes no sense. Okay. Logic and reason, just basic logic, states that if a system is overwhelmed, and we've seen not only a person, an elections manager fired in DeKalb County, Georgia, but we've seen people forget to upload memory cards. We've seen glitches. We've seen numerous,
Okay.
a plethora
Okay.
of,
So-
just
So, let me get this straight. I believe that what H.A. Goodman is saying here is that in the last election, they rejected a certain number of ballots, mail-in ballots, but this year they're not rejecting as many ballots. That's what he's saying, right? And because there's so many more ballots, he wants to know why they're not rejecting more. I believe. Hey, Slowski, let's see.
accidental mistakes that just always happen to help Biden.
I'm going to zoom in on him. Hold on a second.
But logic dictates throughout the country, with a rush of mail-in ballots in such a short amount of time, twice as many than in 2016, that you'd have even more issues and you'd have a higher rejection rate. Now, we'll get to Georgia right now. The interesting thing about factcheck.org and other fact-checking sites is that they obsess over trying to tear apart Trump's arguments. And what they do inadvertently is actually bolster his the theme, or what he really wants to express within his arguments or within his statements. So within statements that he makes, there's an overall viewpoint that he's trying to communicate. He might not within if you look at the nuance, or if you look at exactly what he says, it might not be 100% accurate. But what he's trying to express is, hey, there's an issue here. You have a flood of mail-in ballots, twice as many as in 2016 nationally, and in Georgia you have about 6 to 7 times as many. And so if there's the same rejection rate or lower for any aspect, for any element of mail-in ballots, that's still questionable. So we'll get to that right now. Now, this is according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. The number of absentee votes so far in Georgia is already higher than the total cast in 2016 presidential election, when 202,500 voters mailed in ballots. So 202,500 voters mailed in their ballots in 2016 in Georgia. Okay, this is according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and I can read you. And that's compared to over 1.3 million in 2020. Okay, does it make sense for about 6 to 7 times as many mail-in ballots to have the same rejection rate for a signature rejection rate? So what Trump says, so factcheck.org, we'll get to what they're so proud of, but they say, well, it's not true that the rejection rate overall was this percentage. Trump is only speaking about the signature rejection rate, which happens to be even a tiny fraction lower than it was in previous elections for Georgia. But that's not with the flood of mail-in ballots. 1.3 million mail-in ballots in Georgia compared to 262,000 in 2016. And if you have the same amount, the same rejection rate.
Then my question would be this then. When you're rejecting ballots for signature, are you only rejecting the votes for Trump? Is that what he's asserting? Or is it a basic, an even number of ballots get rejected? It was just a lower rate this election than it was 4 years ago. That would be my question to him right now. But I don't think he's going to address what I just said.
As you did with only a fraction of the mail-in ballots, you're looking at major issues there. One would think that if you have 6 times as many mail-in ballots, you would have a higher rate of rejection because people are overwhelmed. Election workers are overwhelmed. And you had, like I said, you already had someone fired in Georgia this election. You didn't in prior elections. You had people forgetting to upload memory cards, but that amounted to what? 5,000 votes in 2 days.
Okay, now
That
once
never
again,
happened
okay,
in
were
over 5,000 votes in 2 days. That never,
were all of those votes against Donald Trump? Once again, I would ask you that. You know, when you talk about a chunk of votes either not getting through or being backdated, were they select all, or was it just, basically votes from the masses? That would be my question. He's not going to address it though.
never happened in prior elections, and then you found 3,000 votes the third day afterward that weren't uploaded. That weren't tabulated. That didn't happen in prior elections in Georgia. So
I'm out of coffee. Fuck.
so this is more absentee ballots already cast in Georgia than in all of 2016. This is the Atlantic Journal-Constitution, October 6, 2020. Okay. Now the interesting thing is, like I said, you look at 2016
Right on,
numbers,
Connor.
and it's
Thank
important to just get the 2016 numbers.
Okay.
The 2016 numbers.
Rejected ballot.
The number of absentee votes so far is already higher than the votes cast in the 2016 presidential election, when 202,500 voters mailed in ballots. So you have in 2016, 202,500 voters mailed in ballots. Okay.
In Georgia.
This is without flooding the system. This was a normal election in 2016. There was no issue with the pandemic. There weren't issues with the United States Postal Service and whistleblowers coming out in Pennsylvania and Detroit and other places.
Finally.
Saying, hey,
yes,
people
there
were
was no
backdating
COVID.
ballots. There was no issue with flooding the system full of mail-in ballots.
And Donald Trump hadn't tried to
subvert overrun with mail-in ballots.
the Postal Service.
It was not overrun in Georgia. In Georgia, in 2016, in Georgia in 2016, the number of absentee votes so far is already higher than the total cast. This was an article written October 6th, and already they were talking about, my goodness, we're going to have a whole, infinitely more or exponentially more mail-in ballots in Georgia, and they did, well over 1.3 million. But this is the number of absentee votes so far is already higher than the total cast in 2016 presidential election, when 202,500 voters mailed in ballots. That's important. Okay, so you had about 200,000 people with mail-in ballots in 2016. No pandemic, no overrunning the system, full of mail-in ballots. Okay. Now you go to factcheck.org, and this is really interesting. So you have just the news article talking about, hey, in swing states you had dramatically lower rejection rates, even though you had twice as many ballots nationally.
Steve, shut up.
In 2020, this is according to WAB.org. Of the more than 1.3 million absentee ballots returned to county elections offices in November for elections, so you had about over 1.3 million. Okay, that's close. That's 6 to 7. It's well over 6 to 7 times as many. Okay, so you're looking at 6 to 7 times as many mail-in ballots than in 2016. Okay, one would think, with 1.3 million ballots in Georgia compared to 200,000 ballots in Georgia in 2016, that you would have issues pertaining to first-time people who filled out ballots for the first time, just a whole set of issues, pertaining to the mail-in ballots. So.
Were the ballots?
You have an article here, and this is what they do to themselves
all the time. Were they easier?
They ignore Trump's overall message, and they focus on nuance, and they don't do this with Biden. No way. They do not do. He wanted to ban fracking. Oh my God. They don't make an issue of this. They don't focus on the nuance with Biden or any President Obama, you could say that all of these Democrats lied infinitely more than President Trump if they were actually held accountable for their statements in the same way that Trump is held accountable by these obsessive. Factcheck.org is even better than the Washington Post. The Washington Post is like obsessive.
Obsessive.
And they're like petulant when it comes to fact checking President Trump. And a lot of what they do is fact check hyperbole, but all presidents engage in hyperbole. Anyway, Trump's misinformation on Georgia ballot rejections, November 20th. So this is an article where they say, okay, he was focusing Trump did not bring up he brought up the overall rejection rate, but he only actually mentioned the rejection rate for signatures, not for all the other types of rejections, like sending in a late ballot or not filling out the ballot correctly. Okay, so this is true. So factcheck.org is right on this. Okay, but this is the interesting thing. In press release issued this is factcheck.org. Just yesterday, in a press release issued on November 18th, the Georgia Secretary of State's office reported that 2011 absentee ballots were rejected in the November 2020 election for missing or non-matching signatures out of 1,322,529 absentee ballots cast. Okay, you have well over 6 times as many. Between 6 to 7 times as many mail-in ballots than in 2016.
I'm gonna go back to my original point. He is still hammering away at the same thing over and over and over again, and I'm still gonna say, hey man, weren't those all votes for both Trump and Biden? And weighed in at whatever the amount of people that voted said. Weren't there votes that you're talking about? The votes that you're talking about, aren't they votes for both Trump and Biden? Right? The mail-ins, didn't some Trump supporters mail in their ballots? Oh yeah. Okay. Did more mail in for Biden? In some areas, yes. In other areas, they did for Trump. Right?
That's a nearly 354% increase for the 454 mail-in ballots rejected in 2018 due to signature issues. Okay, but 2018, the midterms, midterm elections are easier to tabulate than presidential elections. Okay, just ask Florida in 2000 or 7 states in 2020. But here, when considered as a percentage of mail-in ballots cast, the rejection rate for signature issues was nearly identical in 2020, 0.15% to what it was in 2018, 0.16%.
Okay, it was close then. Okay, well maybe they didn't change their
ballots
themselves.
Because, if you're looking at 2018 numbers, obviously
maybe there's another explanation for it.
The ballots received were a fraction of the 1.3 million absentee ballots. If you're looking at the midterm numbers, almost certainly lower. I don't know why they don't show the total
what's
number
his
of
assertion?
In 2018,
is his assertion that there was a plot because people that were counting ballots were both Republican and Democrats? Okay. Was there a plot among those people to not reject ballots on signature issues? Is that what he's asserting? Because he hasn't said it yet. What's the cause? What's the driving force behind it all? Where's the conspiracy? Who are the people that are responsible for it?
But okay, well they bring up the 2016 numbers anyway. The same as in 2016, 2018. So my 2016 numbers were 200,000 ballots. We can just use that. In 2018, for the midterms, they're probably a lot lower than 200,000. ballots, but you have 2016 and 2018 systems not flooded. There aren't issues with USPS. There's no pandemic. Why on earth would the rejection rate be actually technically lower, 0.15% to 0.16% for signature rejections when considered as a percentage of mail-in ballot cast? So this is what they do with the pandemic. Well, but as a percentage of population, you have Korea and South Korea and
Cheers, Randy.
and other states that are doing better in terms of the pandemic don't have New York's governor. It's so Jonathan Swan's like, I don't understand percentage of population. That's because the Democratic-run states have the highest fatality rates in the country. We have Democratic-run states, New York, New Jersey, and God bless the people in New York and New Jersey. The Democrats dropped the ball on the pandemic. It wasn't President Trump, but don't tell media that.
Gary, we don't need fucking voter ID, you fucking idiot. I'm blocking you from my live stream. Fuck off, you fucking idiot. We need voter ID. No, we don't. Fuck off with your fucking stupid right-wing talking point.
In terms of percentage of population, the states with the highest fatality rate or per capita rate for fatalities are Democratic-run states. That lifts the national average up in terms of per capita numbers, unfortunately. It makes our per capita numbers worse when you have New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Connecticut. These are the top. These like okay. There's other states. There's 7 of the top 10 states with the highest per capita numbers in terms of fatalities are Democratic-run states. This is according to the New York Times. And then you go with just aggregate numbers of lives lost. 7 of the top 10 are Democratic-run states as well, according to the New York Times. And that's been the case. It's been 7 to 8. It's been 6 to 8. Generally, with 7 to 8 of the top 10 states for both aggregate numbers of lives lost and per capita numbers in terms of fatality rate have always been Democratic-run states, according to the New York Times' own statistics. And this has been the case. You can just look at the New York Times, look at the stat. Then they say, well, and nobody pays attention to that. Obviously, the per capita, the percentage of population is going to be higher than other countries if you have states, Democratic states, doing the worst per capita when it comes to the pandemic. Our survival rates are much better than most countries. That's the overall issue. And when they say, "Oh, cases are up," well, how many people are surviving? They don't bring that up because the word survival. Democrats are allergic to that word. They don't want to hear it for political reasons. But here, you have 1,322,259 ballots cast, and you have a 0.15% rejection rate for signatures, which is almost the same, actually technically less than 2018.
0.6.
So Trump is actually right on that if you want to just be, or somewhat right on the signature. If he just said signature rejection, he didn't say overall rejection, he'd be 100% right, according to factcheck.org. But see, what factcheck.org said is the following. Well, he was talking about the overall rejection rate is close to 0. That's not true. Georgia hasn't given statistics on overall rejection rate. They've only given statistics on the signature rejection rate. And the signature rejection rate is 0.15% in 2020. In 2018, when it was a fraction of the ballots, a fraction of the ballots of 2020, the rejection rate was 0.16. Does that make any sense at all? So if you have less than 200,000 ballots, you have a 0.16 rejection rate for does that make, in the comments section, to my 17-minute crowd, if you listen to this for 17 minutes, I commend you and applaud you. But does that make any sense at all? Does that make any sense at all? I want to know. If it's a Democrat watching, does it make sense to you that you have about 6 to 7 times the number of mail-in ballots from 2016 to 2018, and you have actually a lower rejection rate.
It's almost over.
It's 0.15% for signatures. Don't you think that the rejection rate would be higher with a flood of mail-in ballots? It makes no sense. Well, people say, well, it could happen. Yeah, lots of things could happen. What's the likelihood of them happening? When Clinton got $156 million from 85 donors, every liberal on the planet, into the Clinton Foundation, every liberal on the planet said, oh my God, the Associated Press is wrong. I mean, she met more people. The Southern District of New York is going after President Trump just out of politics. There's nothing that Trump has ever done, ever, that comes close to even 85 donors giving $156 million into his foundation when he's like, and if he was a government official, let's assume he was a government official and he meets with those people. They wouldn't say, well, with Clinton and Democrats and this election and Biden, they say correlation does not equal causation. Well, if there were emails on his son Caligula's laptop, but that doesn't mean that he met with the person.
His son Caligula.
You had in the campaign emails in 2016, Bill Clinton Inc. You don't think if Russia hacked Trump's emails, when that hoax is suspect, it's a high to moderate confidence assessment. You don't think if Russia hacked Trump's emails and the Trump Foundation was basically Trump Inc. and he was enriching himself from Trump Foundation, that they would use that in court? Of course they would. The entire thing is such a racket. The Southern District of New York is going after President Trump. Lawrence Tribe himself, the Harvard professor, stated that a sitting president can be indicted. The Constitution allows that to happen. They didn't indict Trump on anything. Mueller found nothing. The evidence was insufficient to say that he worked with Russia, which he didn't. The evidence was insufficient, and they impeached him not on breaking a crime or breaking a criminal statute or committing a crime. They impeached him on abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Any president could be impeached on those flimsy, broad allegations. Eric Holder himself was held in contempt of Congress, and like 12 Democrats voted alongside that. So, anyway, that was in President Obama's administration. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. This is interesting. Factcheck.org, they go out of their way to say, well, Trump is lying, or Trump is not telling the truth, or Trump is misinformed. They actually proved his point. You had 1.3 million ballots with the same signature rejection rate as a tiny as 1/6 of, or a tiny fraction in 2018 and 2016.
If you don't think this
and
is funny,
had a
man.
lower rejection rate, 0.15 to 0.16 in 2018 and 2016, and that's with a system being flooded with mail-in ballots. How does that work? One would think that the more ballots that you receive, especially when it's like 6 to 7 times more ballots, the higher rate of rejection you would see with signatures. Forget about everything else, because if you want to say, well, that's not true. Maybe let's see, maybe 1 million more people have the same penmanship, or like maybe flooding the system with 1 million more people in mail-in ballots.
Cheers, Megzy.
Doesn't mean that you're going to
No,
flood the system with potential either fraud or people who
Right,
just
Tina?
moved and or family members that signed for their family, or friends that signed for friends or whatever, or Democratic operatives that signed for 30 other people. Maybe you could say, oh, that doesn't mean that. Correlation doesn't equal causation. Well, then you better believe that the other elements of rejecting ballots, whether they're late or whether they weren't filled out correctly, all of those things should go up. And if those things are the same, that is a huge, huge question mark. But again, you need to investigate what's going on. How many election managers? Check out my last segment. It's going viral. How many election managers have been fired in Georgia during
It's
previous
going
elections?
viral.
How about none of that I know. And furthermore, early voting favored Republicans. It's a red state. It's a red state. They favored Republicans according to Target Smart by 6 percentage points. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. This is give me your thoughts. I mean, am I wrong? Do you agree with
Am I
me?
wrong?
Give me your thoughts below.
Give me your thoughts.
Thank you so very, very much. Be here tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific for the best late evening live stream in all of YouTube. We were fourth in all live streams on YouTube last night.
Wow.
Let's get to first. Tell everybody you know tonight. Be here at 9 p.m. Pacific
Wow.
every evening for the best political live stream in all of YouTube.
Go there, guys. 9 tonight, Pacific. Midnight on the East Coast. Not doing anything at midnight. Check out H.A. Goodman Live podcast. Hey, man, that's crazy right there. He'll talk a lot about more shit than just that. But that's crazy that he literally just talked about that for so long and he kept saying the same thing over and over again. And it's like it's some kind of a nail in the coffin, you know? Oh, the signature refusal rate. It's not as bad this year. Hey, here, let me offer this as a reason why. There were more votes coming in. People couldn't check signatures as closely. They were just trying to get all the votes counted. So they were like, okay, whatever. It's okay. And they're like, oh, well, that one's obvious. Right? Whereas back then, they were like, there's blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I could check that one. Yeah, we'll check that one. We'll check this one, you know? I don't know. Just, I have to go tie my brake lines up a little bit on my Roxor. I'm going to play with my Roxor. You know what? I might play my guitar for a minute before I go out there. No, fuck my guitar. I don't feel like doing that. I'm going to go work on my Roxor. All right, you guys, take care. I love you guys. Go check out my friend Ron Placone. He's amazing. RonPlacone.com, LucyandRon.com. Let him know that Nays Garden sent you. Check him out on YouTube on his channel, Ron Placone on YouTube. And let me tell you something about Ron Placone on YouTube. Get your news on with Ron. He's got a news program. If you want to be a part of that show, you tweet at him, at Ron Placone. A news article that you just find on the internet somewhere, just tweet him a link to it. And maybe say a little something. And tell him Nays Garden sent you. And he might read your article out on his show. It's pretty cool. And he'll thank you and stuff. So he's also on Facebook and Instagram, Ron Placone. Like I said, Ryan says I'm the only podcaster he watches. Right on, Ryan. All right, you guys, thanks so much. I can't make you watch other people, so I appreciate you guys watching this show. I'll try to bring you more and more, you know? All right. Bye, y'all. Bye-bye. My mustache is of the finest quality. Yes. Bye, everybody. Press number 1 if that made you laugh suddenly. Press number 1 if that made you suddenly laugh. I want to know. My mustache demands to know. Wasp World hit number 1. Out of 23 people, I got a number 111. I got a 1-1. I got 1-1. Megsy, okay, I got 2 1s. Hey, I got 2 1s. Look at this. Look at it. Hey, Luke, he's all freaking out. He's hitting 5s. He's hitting 5s. He didn't laugh. Okay.